This is the Kraken, the functional trainer attachment made for the Bells of Steel Hydra and Manticore power racks. I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel, and this is an overview of our most anticipated product of the year, the Kraken. So first off, I want to just say that I'm going to focus on the stack version in the first part of the video, and then the plate loaded version on the second part of the video. So you can click on the chapters to skip ahead. But the meat of it that I want to get into is why you should get the Kraken over some of the other functional trainer rack attachments out there. And the core reason is this dual pulley system. So the dual pulley system allows you to do two-handed isolation exercises. So the biggest one, of course, is the fly. And so I want you to imagine that if you bought a single-sided one, you would have to buy both sides if you want to do some of your favorite exercises like the fly, as well as doing just simple isolation exercises, rather than having a bar connecting the two. If you want to work on, getting your body leveled out a bit more, like if your left arm is weaker than your right arm, then you can do those isolation exercises on one side. And that's another big thing. So the cost is technically just on one side. I mean, I'm sure lots of people will buy both sides, but you only have to get one. And then it also comes default with a 2-to-1 ratio and an easy adapter for a 1-to-1 ratio. So 2-to-1 means that it's going to cut the weight, whatever is on that stack, in half. So it starts at 10 pounds. So let's say that you have a shoulder injury and you're doing some rehab and you really need a light 5-pound resistance. Then you could do one side of the pulley and work on rehab exercises like that, or anything that required a very light weight. Now, we do recommend using the 2-to-1 adapter whenever doing single arm exercises. But, if you're doing stuff like that, it's not so bad, right? If it's just a 5-pound, but it does add wear and tear onto the cable. But on this one, on the Kraken, compared to our cable tower, which is kind of where the inspiration came from this, right? So originally we were going to do the Kraken as a single handle on each side, like most of the available products out there. But then after doing some teasers of it, I was cruising on the Home Gym Discord, and it's a surly bunch in there, but they tell it like it is. And somebody in there was saying how disappointed they were that we weren't going with the same style as our cable towers and how it was a missed opportunity. And I agreed. So I pushed the design of this down like 2 years to figure it all out and get all the cables sorted, and eventually made its way here. So anyways, to touch on the cables themselves, these are an upgraded cable above our cable towers. And so they're an ultra premium, ultra heavy duty cable that are gonna last even longer for higher, even commercial use too. Some of the best things you can get. And then the two handles that come with it, these are the prototypes, but these are what they will look like. And what these are I've never seen anything like this before. And a vendor of ours has been working with us on this. And it's actually a handle with a bearing in it. So like a barbell, it rotates and is by far the smoothest and best handles I've ever worked with. And I absolutely love them. So they are coming default on the Kraken. The second part that comes default on the Kraken is this 2-to-1 adapter. So this connects both sides and turns it into a 1-to-1 ratio. And so that gives you the true weight that's on the stack and allows you to do heavy movements. Like, let's say you want to do a heavy seated row, then that's going to give you enough weight for that. And it comes with that 2-to-1 adapter with the Kraken. This is a different attachment, of course, but yeah. The next part I wanted to get into is the actual stack itself. So the stack is the same weight plates and same blocks as we have with our cable towers and our lat pull down. And why that's useful is just, we know these things have been working for a very long time and are of good quality. It is also good for replacements, right? So if your order ever gets lost, or your stack, because we ship the stacks in boxes, We've always got a ton of inventory ready to go because it is the same stack used for pretty much all of our stack products. And then I want to talk a little bit about the trolley system itself. So this comes on the side. You just pop the pin out and you pull it down and it fixes in. There is no additional pin to go in. It is just a smooth, easy, one-handed operation. It does have rollers on it, as opposed to say our cable tower, which comes with it's like a heavy-duty plastic liner that allows it to go up and down. Whereas on this one, it's rollers. So that's nice for smoothness. And I like the side pop pin just for going up and down real quick. One thing to note is that there isn't as much maybe positioning on our Hydra because you only get access to those side holes, right? So there's less ports. And then on the Manticore, one thing to note is if you have it on a low position, because our Manticores have a keyhole, and so this pin is a 5/8, and so it sits in the 1-inch hole. But if you were to start from the bottom, there is like a little bit of play in the first rep before you tension it out. I mean, it's good to be tensioning out your bicep curls or your rows or whatever standing thing you're doing, or an upright row. So that's something to just be aware of, and it's just part of the design, and not something that in my experience of training on this thing and training, we do a lot of bells of steel testing with the staff here, with my team. And I think there's probably about, I don't know, 30 or 40 of us here. And so I run weekly group workouts on our new products to get that feedback, make sure to see if anybody has some big complaints or whatever. And on the Kraken, it revealed a bunch of things that we improved, but this is one that stays how it is, and I don't think you'll notice too much. Anyways, that's enough bad things about the Kraken. Let me go more into the good things. So I want to talk a little bit about the modularity and how it actually attaches onto your rack. So you see it is designed for the Hydra and Manticore in one. So you'll have an extra hole kind of empty. You could put a bolt in there if you wanted, just for aesthetic, to cover that up. But I wanted to leave these open just so you can see, okay, if I have a Manticore, there's a 1-inch hole that it would go into. If I have a Hydra, there's a 5/8 hole. That just keeps some more additional modularity and makes it better for potential use on other brands of racks. I am always trying to be inclusive in my design, so if you did make a mistake and buy a rack from another brand, I can't guarantee it's gonna fit, but I do try and design everything that it can be as, you know, it's like a USB-C, right? This is the USB-C of gym equipment, trying to make it so many people out there can use this attachment as they want. Quick mention on that, we are gonna have like a ton of measurements with the holes and dimensions on the website for you to cross-check whether it'll fit onto your rack or not. So look out for that. And then I want to talk a little bit about the cables themselves. Because these are designed to be so modular, they're designed for 84-inch and above racks, but there's lots of in between that. And so there is some good tensioning options on these cables. So if you have to position them, the Kraken a little bit differently, you'll be able to make sure you get the correct tension that you need on there for working out. Going back onto modularity. So again, this needs to be on a depth of 24-inch cross members or longer, and on a height of 84-inch or above. It can really be anything above 84-inch, because all you have to do then is just reposition how your bottom cross member is. If you have like a 108-inch rack or something and you want to fit this on, that is possible. And then for the depth, yeah, like I said, 24-inch depth. And it can fit on a flat foot, but you need a 90-inch flat foot, because you will have to put a cross member above the flat foot to give the Kraken something to mount onto. And then I want to go over the Shroud with you on the other side here. Actually, you know what? I want to come in close up, and I just want to kind of see for yourself exactly what this looks like close up and how the mounting works and looks like. So if you have any kind of questions, and here's a pull-up bar, here's and then down here too, so like here's where that bottom pulley goes and attaches onto the bottom cross member. So you can see that's why you can't put it on the flat foot, because you need to get it underneath there. And there's kind of the mounting holes, the mounting position. And then let's come around to the shroud. So the shroud is, you know, it is kind of like a aesthetic and a little bit of safety. It helps keep your fingers out of there if you got maybe little ones coming and trying to stick their finger in the stack while you're working out. And then it comes with a bunch of hooks. So we are still establishing which hooks and which sizes are going to come default with it, but there'll be more specifics on the product page itself. This will not be compatible with our utility hooks, but it will come with these variety of, they're almost like the hooks you see in, you know, when you go to a store and they've got stuff hung up on the wall. I forget those slat board hooks, kind of like that. And there's different sizes of them, different lengths and different styles. And again, those are going to come default with the shroud. And the shroud is an add-on if you want to get it for the look and the additional storage. All right, I'm back and going over the plate-loaded one. And this is on a 6-post, so I can kind of show you how the 6-post and the plate-loaded one works at the same time. The stack also works on the 6-post, but we just happen to have this set up right now. So real quick on it, the main difference on the 6-post is that it comes with this additional cable router, and that brings the cable and then some additional cables or different lengths, and that brings it over to the front and gives you that extra clearance. And now I want to just show you the kind of inner workings of the plate-loaded version. So it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's on a plate-loaded trolley, and you know, you just slide your plates on and away you go, right? So one other thing I want to point out about like modularity. So the way that we've designed it is there's kind of, for shipping parts, is there kind of, there's shared parts, right? There's shared components, like every Kraken's going to have this trolley system and every Kraken is going to have this. But then there's some other parts that aren't shared and kind of packed separately. You got these rods, and they have some extenders that you can put into them to make it fit higher racks. So this is a 90-inch that I have here. And then there's going to be different cables that you get with your Kraken to allow for that additional height and length and what have you. So it is very, yeah, again, modular, right? And then just give you a quick demo on this as well. So yeah, cable fly. And of course, the higher your rack is, the more cable travel you're gonna have. So if you're somebody who likes to really stand out wide and needs a lot of clearance room, then having a higher rack is gonna help with that. So let me just come all the way out. And you can see about here is where I can max it out. And then same thing on here, you've got that 2-to-1 adapter, and I'll just do a quick row on there. One thing you do need to be mindful of though is if you have a 6-post rack and you are getting a plate-loaded Kraken and you're using this back for storage, you're not going to have much room. You're going to have any room really to fit plates anymore, because those are going to collide with your plates that are on the 6-post Kraken. That is just the case on the plate-loaded version, not on the stack. So you might have to move them to another post or move them up higher or find somewhere else for your plates. And I think that covers about everything. So I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel. And yeah, this is the Kraken. It's been years in the making and many modifications and changes to perfect it. And I think you're gonna love it, and I think it's gonna be worth the wait. So if you wanna buy yours, click the link below and let the games begin. Hey folks, Kayvon here, founder of Bells of Steel. I hope you loved that video. Be sure to smash that like button and leave a comment below. And if you want any of the awesome home gym equipment you saw in this video, be sure to follow the links in the description and let the gains begin.